Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Toon Review. And finally, it is here, the beginning of the Premier League new season and our first real match preview of the season against, of course, the newcomers to the Premier League for a long, long time, Nottingham Forest. Now, we have got a guest on. David is waiting in the green room. He's be on in a second. But the excitement's building, Danielle.
I'm so excited. I can't actually wait. I'm so excited. I feel like it's been a long break, even though it hasn't. But I actually can't wait for Saturday. Bring it on. I'll be up with the birds Saturday morning, getting ready. Can't actually wait.
Alex, of course, you're going to the game as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
He is. Yes, we sorted the ticket out for him. So
shout out to John Joe who sent me
John Joe
yesterday.
Give him a ticket. So he received it yesterday. So Stato, Danielle, and myself will be at the game. So if you want to come and say hello before the game, we will just be standing in the usual spot alongside the club shop next to the Jackie Milburn stand. And of course, Billy will be busy away. Mr. Billy Coleman there with the watch along.
Minding the fort.
Yeah, holding the fort as usual. Yeah, and he'll be live from 2:30 on Saturday afternoon with the live commentary of the game. Really looking forward to that. Let's bring David in. David, good evening.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Very excited.
I thought you might be. You guys must be buzzing.
Yeah. I think every Forest fan's very, very. Been a bit of disbelief, to be honest, about what's happened the last few months. So all good.
Are you going to the game or?
Unfortunately, I'm not. No, but I'll certainly be keeping up with it every minute. Yeah,
it must be fantastic for you Forest fans because obviously a lot of our younger viewers won't remember Nottingham Forest being in the Premier League. Of course, you were one of the founder members, and the days of Sheringham and Collymore, etc. What's it like? I mean, the buzz must be tremendous back in around Nottingham Forest.
Oh yeah. It's I think a lot of people know we started last season terribly. It felt like our kind of expectation had hit rock bottom, and we brought in Steve Cooper, and I think we all had a feeling of do all right, but not even close to what he ended up doing, or at the very least as quick as he did.
He's worked a miracle there, hasn't he? I mean, of course, you had Chris Hughton there, our former manager at Newcastle, and it just did not work with Hughton. What went wrong with Chris Hughton?
Where do I start? A lot, to be honest. I don't think the whole, the fact that he joined midway through, a season without spectators, I don't think that really helped. Maybe it was just a little bit past it, maybe, or it wasn't the right fit or something. I'm not sure, but it just didn't work because when Hughton was appointed at Forest, we were all really excited because of his previous successes, obviously one of them being at Newcastle. Yeah. And we all thought we got a good manager, but it just didn't work. And as we mentioned, Cooper came in, and it's just been from day one. It's just been an incredible buzz around the entire city, and everyone's just so united and got a really good team. We've changed it a lot, obviously, this transfer window, but we kind of had no choice with the amount of loanees we had, and some players who just weren't really good enough, to be honest. It's just fantastic, to be honest.
What's he done tactically wise, footballing wise? It must be quite different from what Hughton was playing.
Completely, yeah. Hughton was very, very stubborn, defensive minded, and towards the end, genuinely, it didn't really. No one really felt like he had a clue what he was doing. To be honest, he was just kind of making it up as he went along, and that
sounds familiar.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. It just didn't work.
We probably talked about Steve Bruce, not Chris Hughton. Chris Hughton did really well for us. We were quite disappointed when he lost his job at Newcastle, but it just goes to show that really. Every club is different. Your philosophy might fit in at one club and be totally useless at the other one, which is what happened at Forest. I mean, I was really shocked with what happened. And Danielle, Chris Hughton did a great job for us, didn't he? But were you shocked at the state he left Nottingham Forest in?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a different man compared to the man who managed Newcastle. I've got a question for you, Dave, if you don't mind asking. I'd just like you to sum up the last 23 years is a Nottingham Forest fan and kind of your expectations really for this season. And welcome back to the Premier League, by the way. You've been away too long.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, as we said at the start, there's lots of people like myself, weren't old enough to know us in the Premier League, and for all of what we've achieved in the past, it is really quite amazing that it has been this long. I think the older fans, it's particularly nostalgic for them to finally see us back in the top flight. Younger fans, it's just like a whole new world to us, to be honest. For some of the last 23 years, a lot has happened. Just years of mismanagement, changing managers too quickly. We went down to League One for a little bit in like 2009.
I mean, that must have been a real punch in the gut. That must have been to see you a club with the nostalgia, history, everything like that. I mean, obviously Sunderland went down, but they've got no nostalgia or history.
They've got nothing.
But Nottingham Forest obviously have. It must have been a horrible feeling as supporters to be stuck in League One the size of Forest.
Yeah, it was awful, to be honest. More modern times, we had our previous owner was a guy from Kuwait, Fawaz Al-Hassawi, and that's not a nice name around Forest because no one likes him. I don't say the name on this channel. He's a bit like our Mike Ashley. We didn't like him in the slightest. But yeah, he just didn't have a clue. And we've brought in Evangelos Marinakis, who also owns Olympiakos, and hasn't been immediate. It took a few seasons every year. Besides, funnily enough, when we had Chris Hughton, it was slow progress. But when we brought in Steve Cooper, we just shot right up to the top. And I think everyone really, not in the early stages of when Cooper was with us, we kind of felt like something was happening. There was just a really strong vibe and connection around the entire city and more importantly, the team. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster, to say the very least.
Now, can I just clarify Tiger's comment? There's 4 weeks left in the transfer window, not 3. Before you all read it and panic, ignore him.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a panic mode again tonight by the looks of things, Tiger. Good evening, Tom. Evening, Jim. David, a lot's been made of Nottingham Forest. Extravagant goings on, shall we say, in the transfer window. You guys have been extremely busy. Is it a worry that maybe you've signed? Have you signed too many players? If you see what I mean, or have you lost players that were on loan, or how are they all going to blend in? Do you think?
Yeah, I completely see why people are saying that. I think the classic example is Fulham a few years ago. They signed too many and it went horribly wrong. Obviously I haven't got the same interpretation to what they had back then, but we kind of had no choice but to sign a lot of players. And to be honest, we signed more than I thought we were going to. But, I have full faith in our recruitment team. We've got a chief executive called Dane Murphy who came in last year, and he, along with Cooper, has been one of the men that's really worked the wonders behind the scenes, just getting all the recruitment spot on. All the players we brought in, I don't look at any of them and think we didn't really need him, to be honest, because we have got a very different looking team. We have 5 loanees who were all excellent in their own right. A few players' contracts expired as well, and really there were a few of the squad players that arguably weren't good enough. So I completely get what people say, oh, we've signed a few too many, and maybe we have, but I have faith in the fact that they'll gel together. They're going to have to, if we want to stay up and hit the ground running. And I think I'm not too worried about it, to be honest, but it's a very valid point. Of course, you don't want to really bombard your squad too much.
Of course, you've made the signing of a certain Jesse Lingard, who Newcastle were very, very interested in by all accounts, and it didn't happen for Newcastle both January and the summer. Were you surprised he came to Forest?
Completely, yeah. I think a lot of people thought he was going to go back to West Ham, or maybe a club like yourself in Newcastle. But I think, to be honest, after all of what we had signed, it wasn't too much of a surprise to see us linked with someone like Lingard, because of the huge ambition we've been showing for years, but particularly the last year. It was a bit of a pinch yourself moment when we signed him, especially as a club that haven't been in the top flight for 23 years. It was pretty surreal, and we're all buzzing about it. And everyone's saying it was about the money, and that's a completely different subject. But I think
we spoke about it on one of these shows. Obviously, saying that what Lingard said was a little bit weird when he said, "I'm here for the project," but only signed a 1-year deal. So for us, looking from the outside in, it very much looked as if Lingard was saying, "Well, I'm here for the project, but if Forest were to go down again, he's got an out, hasn't he? Because he can look for a new club in January again." And Billy, you made a point of this, didn't you? It was, if he's coming for the project, a bit more commitment maybe to Nottingham Forest would have been maybe shown.
Yeah, I mean, he could have said a 2-year deal with the relegation release clause, and that shows a bit of faith and loyalty in Nottingham Forest. So the 1-year deal to me is a very strange one. And as you say, come January, if he so wishes, he can go tying himself out to all and sundry again. Look at it last.
Yeah.
But for Jesse Lingard, it's a good move because he wants to get in that World Cup squad. Not guaranteed the first team place at West Ham. Possibly not worth guaranteed one at Newcastle either. But Forest will be playing week in, week out, and he'll get a chance to impress Southgate and maybe get himself in the squad. So that's what Lingard's gone there.
Alex, you wanted to say something about his wages?
Yeah, so there's been some talk about this in the last 2 days. About there's a few Forest papers reporting that the wages are actually a bit lower. I've had a look at this. Matty Renton from one of the Newcastle channels has mentioned this as well. I don't know what his source is, but it's the Nottingham Post, written by Amy Wilson, and she starts to quote the Telegraph that West Ham offered 127k a week to him and a 1 million signing on fee, and then she starts a new paragraph. It is said that at Forest he's earning 80k a week, with add-ons up to 120. So it is said by who? And then she starts talking about reports, but it's not. There's no source in any of this. So as far as I'm concerned, there's about 15 other publications reported it's 200k. So I'm not having that. I'm not having Forest fans just quoting the Nottingham Post with no sources at all from the journalist. So if you find me the source, I'll shut up and apologise. But it's not true. It's not true. Sorry.
Can I just say something though? Like from a fan's point of view, in January, like I was fuming. I think everyone remembers deadline day in January. I was absolutely spitting fire at the way Manchester United treated Jesse Lingard.
Unusual for you to speak about Manchester United like that as well, Danielle. I mean,
obviously,
Jesus.
I mean, how much I love that club so much.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten. But in terms of Lingard at Forest, I mean, I really hope that he sticks to his word and he really gives it what he should do. Because it's not the Forest fans' fault. I mean, let's put ourselves in their situation as a newly promoted side. If you're going to get a player like Jesse Lingard, you'd be buzzing. I would be. So, like, I just hope he kind of puts his big boy pants on and gets on with it, and shows a bit of loyalty to Nottingham Forest, because I think he's deserved it as a club. After everything that you've been through, that could have easily happened to Newcastle under Mike Ashley.
Without a doubt.
We could have done a Sunderland, gone down to League One. Luckily for us, we didn't. So let's hope Jesse Lingard stays for the project, eh?
I mean, David, are you Forest fans? Are you actually bothered about what Lingard earns, or are you more bothered about what he does on the pitch?
Well, I mean, I think when we're watching him on the pitch, the last thing we're thinking about is what he's earning.
Yeah.
But I get completely why people, especially non-Forest fans, are debating his wages. It's going to be a talking point, of course. Of course, he's going to be earning a lot. He's probably on more wages than he is. He's on more wages than the entire squad, probably. It's not really a concern, I don't think, for pretty much every Forest fan, but it's just from our point of view, we've signed a lot of young players that also don't really have that much Premier League experience, and to go and sign Lingard for free because he hasn't got obviously a transfer price tag, obviously. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer from our point of view to get someone with so much know-how and experience. So I don't really think people are bothered about it.
Yeah, I think so. The conversation when Lingard signed was that, I mean, we were talking about it, saying that Nottingham Forest, they've got to be careful, because if they spend too much money, then get relegated, they could find themselves in, more financial trouble, which you guys know all about, which is, what led to your relegations, really. But given the players that you've signed, we all did our Premier League predictions last week, and we all think you'll safely stay up.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us had the Forest to go down.
No.
Listen, if it comes down to the crunch, and you beat Everton to the last relegation place by a point, I will run naked through Northumberland Street, because I want to see those bin dippers, those horrible skip rats, relegated. And everybody knows how I feel about Everton Football Club. I hate them with a passion because of the fans and what the fans did to us on many, many occasions. And I just don't like their football club. And for me, I'm pretty delighted Forest are back. I said that when they got promoted. It was nice to see a different club come up, because we were used to the yo-yo teams like Watford, West Brom,
Norwich,
etc. Norwich, all the same clubs coming up. And for now we've got Brentford and Forest in the Premier League. Brentford did really well last year. I think they'll struggle a bit this year though, but Forest are back. And obviously I would think for Forest and your manager, it'll be the priority is staying up. But you'll want to get off to a good start, won't you? But how did you feel when the first game was released and you saw you were up at St James's?
I mean, I don't think anyone was too bothered who he played in what order, but Newcastle away is certainly a very exciting prospect. I think it's two clubs in a very good, exciting situation. I think it's an excellent first fixture, to be honest. Two teams that are definitely going to be well up for it, with big ambition for the future. So I'm really excited, to be honest. And
how have you guys done in pre-season? Have there been good signs in pre-season?
They drew 2-2 with Notts County.
Oh,
well, I went to that Notts game, and we played like a C team.
They just drew with Valencia with the first team, so that's fine.
Yeah,
that's not a bad result, to be fair.
That's a good result.
Yeah, Valencia put out a strong team as well. Yeah, we played pretty well, to be honest, against Valencia. Got a good draw out of it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Carl's asking a question here for you. Are you Forest fans rubbing it in with County fans? Because one club is sort of going one way and County's gone the other. Because, County, I think, when we look back a few years ago, they brought Sven in, didn't they? Goran Eriksson in to be manager. They got some big names in. It was done all wrong, wasn't it? It just collapsed. I mean, your grounds are literally over the river, aren't they? The County's grounds over the Trent. It's just over a bridge and a little walk, I guess. But it's there. You can see each other's grounds quite clearly.
Yeah.
Is the rivalry really bad between you two, or is there another club that Forest look to as their main real, like Derby or Leicester will be a big game, I think, for you this season, will it?
To be honest, I think pretty much every Forest fan will tell you the same thing. Derby's our rival, and especially given the fact we were in the same league as them last season, with they were in a complete mess and still kind of are. The rebuilding now, but it was far greater pleasure to see them suffering. To be honest, Notts definitely hate us more than we hate them. When we played them in a friendly, we weren't really that bothered. Whereas Notts, when they scored against our kids, essentially, they were rubbing it in like mad to us.
Was it at Notts County's ground? Was it?
Yeah. Because
I can't imagine Sunderland, to be fair. If Sunderland were dropped out of the Football League, then that's really bad for the North East. Like we want them to be bad, but we don't want them to be out the Football League, because
could you imagine a pre-season friendly between Newcastle and Sunderland, Danielle?
No. No, should a thing exist? I don't think.
I mean, there'd just be a World War III on. I mean, the hatred there is incredible. I mean, obviously, we hate Man United, we hate Everton, but Sunderland, I could never imagine a pre-season friendly against the Mackhams. I mean, was there a big crowd there, David? Was there a decent-sized crowd, or?
Yeah, there's about 15,000 in a 20,000 stadium.
Because it's a kind of big stadium, Notts Counties, isn't it? For considering where they are now.
Yeah, I mean, they fell off quite dramatically. They were League One not too long ago. When it comes to rivalry, they are a local rival. Obviously, they're right next to us, but Derby's always been our rival, and I think when we play Leicester, it will be
the rivalry will kick off again with Leicester. Yeah,
it'd be a bit more spicy than some games, but it will never really reach the rival level of Derby County, to be honest. But to be honest, I do hope Notts at least get back into the Football League, because, like you say, you don't really want these teams to just disappear.
Yeah, you need your rivals around, don't you, somewhere? I mean, I don't think Danielle's not. I think if Manchester United went out of business, Danielle wouldn't shed a tear.
Nah, drives a steamroller right over Old Trafford, mate.
Yeah,
no
you would.
Problem.
Stephen Donathy, thank you for your £4.49 super sticker, matey. Really appreciate that. Let's have a look at. Ian says Cooper is on the BBC saying more players will be coming to Forest. Wow.
Yeah.
Claude says this game is going to be tough. These newly promoted teams are always hungry in the first month, and we have to be up for it. Yeah, it's a potential banana skin, Alex, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if they can weather the first half an hour, they will set up to play on the counter attack. I mean, Lingard's been used in midfield at the moment, so it doesn't look like he's going to be up with Johnson. It's been Sam Surridge, and they've got the new guy. I need to double check his name. What is it? Awoniyi, who's seems very, very tidy, like 15 goals in the Bundesliga last year, so he's no joke. So we've got to be careful. An early goal would be very good. Because if we're a bit nervy and haven't scored within half an hour, they're going to try and soak up pressure and play on the counter attack. And if we start burn, they've got Brennan Johnson, who's going to try to be running down his side, and we know he struggles a little bit. So there are risks, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
See, I might think it might happen the other way, I have a feeling Forest will come at us first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think Steve Cooper will send them out. And what's going to happen is, the atmosphere in that ground, come kickoff is going to be incredible. The war flags are there again. There'll be a huge flag display. The atmosphere, the music will be rocking. The Forest fans will be singing. But I think Steve Cooper will tell those lads to go out and shut the fans up early.
I'd be disappointed if Joe Linton and Miggy didn't shut that down straight away.
Well, yeah, obviously from our point of view, that's what we want. But from Steve Cooper's point of view, he'll want them to go out all fired up and do something there.
Yeah, it could be a mad 5 minutes.
Yeah. Darren's saying, have Forest still got Colback? If so, what do you think of him, David?
Yeah, we've still got Colback. He's been with us quite a while now. Obviously, we had him on loan from you guys twice. Yeah. He did very well. He's a bit yellow card friendly, to be honest. He had quite a few bookings from what I remember. But,
he played as their 8 against Valencia in the midfield, just so you know.
He did, yeah.
He played a lot of left back last season, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an interesting one because, he was on loan to us twice. And then in 1920, he was with you, but he was just in your reserves, obviously. And
yeah, he wasn't getting a look in, was he?
Had a complete off year from football. And I think that kind of really affected him when we re-signed him. And then no fans and Houghton, to be honest, didn't help. But again, Cooper didn't just sign really good players. He improved players that we all thought weren't good enough. And there was quite a few examples, but Colback was definitely one of them. And
scored a worldie last season, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, against West Brom. It was an incredible goal to witness. And yeah, I mean, because we had Max Lowe on loan from Sheffield United last season, and we didn't really have another left back available that we had faith in anyway. There was a guy called Gaitang Bong that just wasn't good enough to play.
That is a tremendous surname, by the way.
It's
just incredible. Bong.
It is. Yeah.
Ex-Brighton.
Yeah, ex-Brighton. He was a great bloke, but he wasn't good at football. So we had to play Jack there, and he did wonders, to be honest. And yeah, he's probably going to play more in his natural position this season. I'm not sure whether he'll play as much, to be honest, which is a bit sad on him because we've signed a lot of players, obviously, a few midfielders, Lewis O'Brien. We signed a guy from Stuttgart as well. And we've got Ryan Yates, who's, Forest lad as well, who's probably ahead of him.
That's Mangala, you signed from Stuttgart, the defensive midfielder, who for some reason hasn't played yet. But
well, yeah, he only signed less than a week ago, so I'm sure he'll definitely get plenty of game time. But Forest fans have got a lot of respect for Colback, what he's done for us, particularly last season, and hopefully he gets a fair amount of game time this season.
What type of reception do you think he'll get, Billy?
I think I'll get horrendously booed.
Not going to be good, is it?
It's not.
You know what? I mean, Colback did really well when he first came to Newcastle. Let's not forget that. He got it picked in the England squad. You've got to give it to him. He was playing really well at the time. And then it just went absolute, well.
Pete Tong.
To say Pete Tong is an understatement. Of course.
It went bong.
One of our managers or temporary managers at the time said he would love 11 callbacks. I'd struggle how Colback would play in goal or up front, but that was a ridiculous comment to make by John Carver, of course. But is he going to start on Saturday, do you think, David?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think Mangala will start because we've only just signed him, to be honest. And I don't know. I think Yates will probably start if he's fit because he was injured a little bit over pre-season. I think Lewis O'Brien, who we signed from Huddersfield, who obviously would be in the playoff final, which is something that amuses a lot of Forest fans. You know, I think he probably will start. So I think there's a chance that he will, to be honest. You know, he's will bring us a bit of experience, and you know, obviously he didn't do well with Newcastle, and this is the thing. When we signed him initially on loan, I think a lot of Forest fans are thinking the same thing. You know, he hasn't done well with his partner club, so why have we signed him? But you know, he proved us all wrong, especially last season when he came back and really looked probably the best he's ever looked, to be honest. And
who'd have thought that Jack Colback would turn out to be a Nottingham Forest legend? I mean, it's really strange.
Is strong mind.
I'm not sure why he's a legend, but we'll certainly.
It's legend.
Some of our fans are calling Billy Dwight Gale legend when he left. So come on,
off, man. Legend.
Exactly.
Certainly hold him in high regard.
Yeah. Ian, good evening. He says, a question for David. Where do you think you'll finish this season? He thinks you'll finish 16th. I think you'll finish higher than that. I can't remember where I had you to finish, but it was higher than 16th.
I'll go on 14th.
14th. Yeah, I think a lot of Forest fans are very optimistic. I don't think anyone is predicting us to go down. I've not even seen many neutrals say that, which is very encouraging for us to see. I think between like 13th and 15th area of the table, to be honest, I think, you know, we'll have some bad runs. It's going to happen. We'll have some good runs, obviously. It's going to be a bit up and down at times, I'm sure. I'll go like 14th. You know, I'll definitely take that in the first season. And then, you know, I don't think we're here just to try and make up the numbers. I think we have the ambition to
absolutely not
good for you.
Go as far as possible, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So,
you've got a definite 6 points against Everton.
Yeah,
hopefully, yeah.
And against Manchester United.
Definite. And yeah, why not?
Yeah, just beat them as well. Tiger says, imagine Colback scoring a stunner and doing the shush celebration. Well, he's done that to us before, of course, when he played for Sunderland. He stood in front of the Leazes End doing a shush. I was in the Leazes End at the time. Had I had a pistol on me, I would have fired it right off his bloody brow. Of course, I don't condone the use of guns on the channel. No. But you know what? It was a shocking thing to do. Jason says Lingard is fantastic business. Jay Ling's number 11. Is that right? Is he number 11 this season?
Yeah, as far as we know.
You need to update your website because it says to be confirmed on your website, and there's about 8 players without squad numbers.
Yeah, we haven't announced them yet, but Lingard.
Well, we haven't either, to be fair.
No.
Yeah, Lingard's probably going to have 11 because like we've done a giveaway to win one of his shirts, and he's got 11 on, so he's surely got.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the squad numbers are very late coming out. I mean, you know, people have got Botman at number 4. He's been playing number 4, obviously, but hell knows. You know, it's like wait until the first time we'll probably hear about squad numbers is on the back of the program on Saturday.
Yeah, doing the analysis, trying to do the pitch side views and stuff. All the Forest players are all wearing the same shirts. Like McKenna wears 26, and they've got Henderson wearing 26 at the same time. They've got O'Brien and Colback both wearing 8 at the same time in pre-season. Necker Williams and Johnson both using 20. It's very odd.
Yeah.
Dean Henderson's another one, David. Obviously, very, very highly linked with Newcastle at the beginning of the summer. Obviously, we decided to go elsewhere for Nick Pope, who I'm extremely happy about, to be honest. I think he's going to be brilliant for us. But Henderson's a big coup for you guys. But he made some very interesting comments during the week, didn't he, about about Manchester United, which probably Danielle. Have you seen them, Danielle? Have you
No,
read
but I'm
what he said?
interested. Tell us
He
more.
slated them. He slated them.
Brilliant.
He basically called them liars.
Yeah.
I mean, David, good signing for you. But what did you make of his comments?
I mean, obviously, I don't know like all the ins and outs, but I don't see why he would lie. And I can believe it, to be honest, from Man United. You know, the way they're run, the things that have gone on there the last few years. Definitely can believe what he's saying. And I think he's got every right to say it, to be honest. I mean, you know, he's completely rattled an entire fan base, his own fan base, technically.
Love it.
I think fair play to him for saying that, and I don't think he's going to go back there.
No, I'm getting the feeling he doesn't want to, and B, I don't think he'll be welcome back there, to be honest, after what he's actually come out and said. But listen, I think it's brilliant that he's come out and been so honest.
I applaud him.
Yeah, well, you would. Glovenit, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, I am a Newcastle fan that lives in Nottingham. All my mates are Forest fans. Happy to see both clubs doing well, but sorry, Forest fans, Toon forever. Well, obviously, if you're a Newcastle fan, you'll feel that way. All travelling football fans will be looking forward to feeling the atmosphere at Newcastle. Yeah, it's very much different, isn't it, Alex, compared to last season? This time last season, it was, well...
Grim.
I mean, I didn't get to go to any games early last season, but it was, if I can compare it to any time that I've been there, it's the most incredible I've ever seen it. From the Arsenal game onwards, and from every time I've been since, it's intimidating, inspiring. Even a lot of the other clubs that played against us, there was a couple in the Premier League that started trying to improve their flags and songs. And pre-season rituals because they were inspired by what we were doing in the ground. And it was, it's quite humbling and nice that everybody in the stadium just is on a different level. Especially there are quite a lot of stadiums around floating around sort of 60k plus. So the fact that we're not at that and we can create that kind of buzz is just outrageous.
Absolutely. But it was funny watching Sunderland try and do the same thing the other day with the Wilkinson carrier bags. It was absolutely hilarious.
I know. Pound shop version, that's what that was.
Yeah, pound shop flag display, definitely.
If that,
you what, Billy?
If I wouldn't even say Poundland, I would say it was 30 dog poo bins flying around the park display. It was horrendous.
See how you feel, Billy. See how you feel. Eve T 1991 says, hello, Rads, from a fellow Forest fan. Good evening to all the Forest fans that are watching. Forest have to beat the Scouse Mackems twice this season.
Indeed.
Absolutely. So do we.
Hopefully.
Andrew says, you were right about COVID, Paul. Have to say, I'm not a fan of it. I know. Andrew was at the games at the weekend. I did a COVID test yesterday just to be sure because I'd been feeling a bit dodgy. I think that was the burger.
God.
I got this steak burger on Saturday's game, and it didn't look like a steak. It was more like sort of black kebab meat. I don't know what the hell it was. It didn't taste like steak either, and I think it's had a wrong effect on my stomach most of the week. But luckily, it's not COVID.
I shouldn't laugh, but.
No, cheers for the sympathy, Danielle. Love you too. Michael Marsden, thank you for your $44.99 super chat, matey, as usual. Fantastic, and looking forward to going to the game with you again on Saturday in the chili wagon. Of course, the chili man there with his donation. Michael's like the chairman of the channel, isn't he? He's like sort of the chairman,
Yeah.
Just the chairman who just sits behind the scenes, making sure everything.
He is very chairman-esque. He's very calm, cool, collected. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's when I go chasing after people, he's like a bull in a china shop.
Indeed.
Adam says, his Eve Adam here. Remember when we started everything? What is that supposed to mean? Some people, I don't think they read the comments before they press enter. Clearly, Sunderland will be back in the 3rd division soon enough. Rachel would also love it if the Mackems dropped out of the league. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
A friendly thermonuclear war is more likely than a Mackem friendly. Well, Listen, if the Maccas come back into Newcastle, we'd have to put on the nuclear suits, wouldn't we? Because we don't know where.
At least get a vaccination.
Absolutely, yeah. Jason says, I have a friend from Nottingham who follows both Forest and County. The rivalry isn't huge between them. How can you follow both Nottingham teams?
Yeah, you can't say that based on your one friend either. That's a bit. There's a small sample there. One friend.
That would be weird. I mean, could you imagine that, David, supporting both?
No, no matter how intense our rivalry is, that's still weird.
I mean, there will be a day that County start coming up the leagues again. They are a big side, to be fair. Obviously not as big as Forest, but they are a big side or a big club. They will start coming back. So I can't imagine if County start getting successful, supporting both teams. Ridiculous. I suppose, they won't be playing at home on the same day, will they? So I suppose you could go every week with different ground. But that's bizarre. That's very bizarre.
Do you want a bit of historical context for Nottingham Forest?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a good piece here for you. The last 2 times they've been promoted, for 1977, they went on to win the first division the year after. I was there actually when they clinched it at Highfield Road. And Frank Clark brought them back up and took them straight into Europe also. So they've got a bit of pedigree.
That's a good omen, that, mine, David. Good omen.
Steve Cooper's going to do it this time, hopefully.
So,
God almighty, if that happens, I mean, God, I know Leicester won the Premier League, but if Forest come up and won, I can't imagine what the odds would be for that.
Well, didn't Frank Clark take them into the European place after, in the first season back up was an amazing achievement. Similar to Kevin King did the same. So, you don't see them things happen these days.
Yeah.
But Forest have got the pedigree for it, so just
well,
keep your eyes open.
After what Cooper's done with us, I don't write anything off, to be honest.
Very true.
Fair play.
Steve Cooper's #1 fan says, let's all Forest fans get down to the quayside and smash some beers, or in the pig marketplace. It's not the pig market, it's the big market. Granted, you'll find quite a few pigs there, but it is the big market.
Pig and whistle.
Can't believe you just said that.
It's a joke, Danielle. It's a joke.
We'll see.
Francisco says, cheers from the tropics, everyone. Extremely excited for our first game. Let us concentrate on the excitement of it all, and afterwards we can keep chirping about transfers. I don't think the chirping about transfers is going to end very soon at all.
Oh, I wish it would. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, from a Forest fan looking in, David, I mean, what do you think? Were you expecting Newcastle to spend a bit more than they have?
To be honest, yeah, I think a lot of people thought, with your takeover, you were going to go mad in the summer. But I looked at your business; you've only spent about 60 million, which for what the money you've got available, I would have thought you would have gone for more. I don't think it's. I mean, you probably have a different opinion, but I still think you've got a good team anyway. But you have probably had the potential to sign more. To be honest, I do think the players you've signed are exciting ones.
Well, Chris Wood, maybe not. We'll leave him out of that.
It's because we're not a European side trying to attract players who could and should be in Europe. Theoretically, it's hard.
That's true.
It's been a struggle. Put it that way.
There's a lot of comments in the chat saying that Colback is going to get a red card on Saturday should he play.
Let's hope Big Joe doesn't get one. Oh my God! I hope he's tempered his anger for this game.
No,
I'm sure he's been told.
So. EJ says, shocking if Newcastle fans boo Colback. Tried his best always. Sums up the fan base if you boo.
I'm booing.
Well, no, because he's a Newcastle fan and he played for Sunderland. So
I mean, that's enough in itself.
People have got their right to do it.
Yeah.
Diane says, hi, Toon Review family. Could you please ask your viewers that War Flags are asking for £1 a month to help maintain the displays? If you're all members donated, they would be so happy. Cheers.
Good idea.
Yeah, we'll have a look into that because obviously they need help to maintain. I've still seen idiots coming out that ground on Saturday with some of the flags. They just never bring it. Honestly, does me head in. And one of them was saying, "Oh, I nicked the flag. Look at this." I hope you've got hit by a feckin' bus.
I'll go find the War Flags on Twitter and retweet it after the show so people can see it.
All right, cool. No, Danielle, I'm serious. I mean, This guy looked like he was, he'd had a few lines before he went into the ground. He was just completely I don't think he knew where he was, but he was like, oh, fucking hell, look at me, I've got a flag. Twat. Collins says 14th for Forest. Tom says 14th. Jock says 14th. Karia says, I've missed Nottingham Forest, so very happy to see them back. Steve Cooper's number one fan says 17th, and I'll be happy.
Fair enough.
Well, I think it's just surviving, but I expect them to be quite competitive this season. I really do. Right, before you go, David, who's going to be the star man for Forest this season, do you think? Who's going to stand out?
I think we've got a lot of candidates, to be honest, but I think I'd have to go for Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
As our starter, he was a star last season, came onto the scene and I think did better than anyone thought he would do. Huge potential. He's definitely one of our own. His dad, David Johnson, played for us as well.
Yeah.
So, it's excellent, to see someone like him. We've got a lot of our own players in the team that have ended up finally getting us back up. We've got Joe Ward and Ryan Yates as well. It's great to see some homegrown players in the team. But I'd have to go for Brown. I think he could be a real good player again this season in the Premier League.
It's a big season for him, isn't it? Seeing how he does in the Premier League. Mike Trember, thank for your 10 New Zealand dollars. He says 1-0 to Newcastle. Piggy to score. Whoops, I mean Miggy. Yeah, fair enough. And predict the score for Saturday, David?
Oh, I'm not going to go for a defeat. I think I have a feeling it'll be a draw from a Forest perspective.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I think I'll go for a nice conservative 1-1 draw.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Forest will be very happy if they come away with a draw for the first game back in the Premier League.
I would.
David, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate you giving a Forest aspect of it and a bit of a sort of rundown of what it's been like the last few years before you've managed to get back in the Premier League. But best of luck to Forest, and hopefully we'll speak to you a bit later on in the season when we play you again.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep watching. We've got some good insights into Forest players coming up.
Yeah, we have. Stato put some up, mate. So keep watching. Listen, take care, mate, and good luck for the rest of the season, apart from obviously Saturday. But
you too.
It's nice to have Forest back. Take care, mate.
All the best.
All the best, Dave.
Oh, what a nice lad.
Nice lad.
Cracking lad. And really nice to have a sensible Forest fan on to tell us about the Forest side of it. But now we turn to Newcastle United. But first,
I'm so excited.
At first, I have an announcement to make. It's a big one for the channel because I've been looking to do this for a long time for this channel. And I am delighted to see what I've tried to do is go out there and look to something that the Toon Review as a channel, as a family can do to help football in the area. And it came about earlier on in the week that Cramlington United under-8s girls team were desperately looking for a sponsor because they wanted new kit, obviously hoodies for the girls to wear before the games, to go to games with, training gear, etc. And I'm delighted to say that the Toon Review are now officially sponsors of Cramlington United under-8s girls team. Brilliant. So there we go. It's absolutely fantastic. It's run by Megan, and I've obviously been in touch with her, and it's fantastic because girls football obviously is taking off, winning the Euros and things like that, and what Megan's doing is bringing young girls into the team and getting them interested in football. I think it's a fantastic job that she's going to be doing. It's a fantastic opportunity for us. Our logo will be on their training gear and hoodies, so it's going to be fantastic. We'll be able to go along to the presentation night at the end of the season to dish out trophies. It's going to be brilliant.
Surely.
Yeah. So it's absolutely fantastic for us as a channel to be able to put something back, give something back, especially this sort of young grassroots and especially a girls team. We told Kaz a while ago when she came on from her game too that we would do our best as a channel to promote that sort of thing, and that's exactly what we've gone and done. So I'm delighted that to get in touch with Megan, delighted that we've been able to do that. So if you see Cramlington United's logo sticking around a few places, that is why. So it's fantastic news, and good luck to the girls this season.
Come on, girls.
We will be keeping track of them and letting you know how they get on. But it's brilliant for us. So officially sponsors of Cramlington United under-8s girls team. So there you go. Brilliant news. Absolutely
Great news.
fantastic.
Well done.
Danielle, you can do your first watch along.
Yeah, I can.
Well, yeah, I think there's a few of them might start watching the Toon review, so you'll be kind of there. All bow down to Danielle, you know.
I better start behaving better.
Well, just teach them to hate Manchester United, Danielle. I'm sure that that's fine. Paul Tully says, Man United seem like a cesspool. Did anyone see the survey that was done which showed Man United players being the most abused online? That's likely their own supporters. Ashley Era was like East Berlin before the wall came down. Even the Mackhams have tried to do a flag display. Yeah, well, it was sort of Wilkinson bags, wasn't it? It was terrible. It was terrible. Yeah. Right, we turn our attentions to the big game, of course, and the Newcastle side of things. Now, there is a lot of people have very different views about what the team will be come Saturday. I got a big surprise on Twitter. Somebody mentioning that about Lascelles starting and that he had a very, very good end to the season last year. And I tried to put the point across that he had a great end of the season was because he was sitting on his arse. Because Botman and Shaw, Byrne and Shaw played the majority of the back end of last season. So I didn't get where his point was coming from at the end of the day. Alex, I think you put a comment on there as well. I just didn't understand it. But there is a lot of people who are varying about who may well be playing in defence come the start of the season. Steve Mallam, thank you for your £4.49 super chat, my friend. Brilliant news on sponsoring the girls. Well done. #HerGame2. Thanks, Steve. It's all down to you guys as well. All your super chats, all your memberships. Obviously, most of the membership goes to Parkinson's UK, but some of that will be pulled out for the sponsorship and stuff like that. So it is all down to you guys. So thank you to you guys as well. You're all part of it. You're all part of this family, and that means a lot to us as well. You had the famous St. James's dog burger, Paul. Indeed, I did. I think it was a Jack Russell.
I'm not getting a burger on Saturday now. Can't take the risk.
No. Could have been worse, Paul. You could have eaten one of the burgers in the ground. Mark says Paul had a bumhole like the Japanese flag. No, that'll have been Michael after his chili burgers, no doubt about it. Francisco says, Billy, the invitation for when you come to the Caribbean is for real. Let me know when you can come over. Wow.
Yeah, Billy.
How about 10 minutes?
Next flight out. What time? I'm off. Billy will be doing the watch along from the beach in his budgie smugglers. So yeah, I don't know what kind of reception you get on the beach though. Rad's dad must have been on. Notts County are like an elderly relative.
They are the oldest, aren't they?
Yeah, the oldest club in the UK, I believe, apart from that non-league Sheffield side, who are officially the oldest. Yeah, interesting. Right, Alex, what is this graphic I'm about to show?
Oh, great. I love
I've got lots up.
What's the first one?
So this is a pitch side view. So you can meet the Forest squad, meet the new signings, so people know what's going on, because it's not been explained a lot in many places. So
now it's interesting who you've got starting at Newcastle's centre backs as well.
So I mean, we'll start with Forest because people don't.
2 seconds. There's a £40 super chat coming from Ian Fleming. Thank you very, very much, Ian. Hi, guys, and Danielle. Just to say, Paul, got my mug today. It's really great going 2-0 the Toon. Thank you very much, Ian, and thank you for your continued contribution to the channel, mate. Really appreciate it. And it's like that we were able to do such a thing for these girls. Okay, Alex?
So meet the Forest squad so we can kind of understand what's going on. I've squashed them back into their little defensive formation. So these are the new boys who we don't think are going to start. They've spent a lot of money. So a few people have been arguing with me about how much they've spent. I've triple checked this. They've spent just under 95 million. It is 95 million. I've checked it. They've got about 5 million back in from sales. So they've had 16 in, 11 out. 12 are, first team. So this is who they got in. Awoniyi is the very good striker we were talking about with 15 in the Bundesliga last year. Is no joke. I think he's quite young as well, 24, just about to turn 25. He's played a little bit in preseason. They actually played a friendly against Union Berlin, which was possibly, part of the deal. Richards is actually English, an English fullback that they've got from Bayern. He went from Reading to Bayern. And just so people can see, they haven't spent their money badly. If we go look at Omar Richards on FBref, this is him. It's not too bad.
Wow.
Some of the comparisons with Alphonso Davies and Dest, he's not a bad fullback. And there'll be a theme here. And this is Awoniyi as well on FBref. He's also not very bad. They've signed quite well. Niakate, the centre-back from Mainz as well. Mangala, the DM from Stuttgart. And Biancone from Troy is also very, very tidy. They've all got very good stats.
Excuse me. I have to interrupt you there, Alex, because you are a man of correct pronunciations. Am I right or wrong?
So it was not Biancone.
No, it's not it's the club name. It's not. You read his former club out wrong. You'll find it's called Troyes.
Troyes, is it Troyes?
Troyes, yes.
What's complete?
My apologies.
Yes, so I just thought it's not like you jump on me for ever getting a name wrong, Alex.
No,
I just
true.
thought
No, play nice, lads. Play
right, let's throw these players out the window because we're not so sure they're going to play necessarily. Yeah. So let's throw these down here, and then we've got.
Just while he's doing that, Alvin Messenger, thank you for a $5 super chat. Frustrated with not getting Madison on board. I say get Suleimana and pivot to Paqueta. Thoughts? We'll talk about that a bit later. Carry on, Alex.
So 5-3-2 is how they've been lining up, with the exception of Notts County. And I've got the prices of some more of them here. Nico Williams for 20 million as well from Liverpool, or Neco Williams even. Not Worrell. He's not from Huddersfield. Where is it? It was O'Brien. Was it O'Brien?
O'Brien and Toffolo.
Yeah, O'Brien and Toffolo both came from Huddersfield. So they've spent a lot of money, to be fair. That's not a criticism necessarily. They're trying to spend. They've spent well. Nine of these signings are between 19 and 26 years old. So they've invested in a good age, and they all seem quite competent. So I think it's quite smart business. It is risky, but it makes a lot of sense. So the way they've been lining up is with Lingard in midfield on the left. He's not really played a lot, but that's what we've seen so far. With Johnson and Surridge up front. Surridge has only just come back. He had surgery. He's had 2 months out, but he's back playing now. Colback played as their 8, but this could be Yates as well. It could be changed, or Mangala, their new DM, potentially. And they're looking quite healthy in fullbacks. Obviously, they lost a lot of their fullbacks. They've bought two new left backs, 2 new right backs. So they're absolutely fine at wing back position now, in theory. They got Worrell, Cook, and McKenna. Obviously, Cook was from Bournemouth. They've got Worrell, who's reasonably good. I don't think he's ever played in the Premier League, though. And they do have Niakate from Mainz, who they brought in as a spare centre back. He was also very competent, 6'3", good stats, left-footed. So they've spent very well. They got Hennessy in as a free transfer as a backup to Henderson. So they've got a reasonably good squad. They've got reasonable squad depth. It's not too bad, at all. And this is how I think we will line up. I'm undecided on whether it's going to be Longstaff or Willock. I would prefer Longstaff because I think he's a little bit more sensible. And I'm a bit considering Willock gave the ball away, which caused the Bilbao goal. It caused the breakaway. It didn't necessarily cause the goal, but with the way that they're going to be playing, trying to hit on the counter and absorb pressure, Johnson probably trying to really irritate Byrne on this side and get behind him, because Byrne has been done a few times for pace, as Targa has also been done. So it's a little bit concerning. So we need to be careful.
I'm just looking at the middle of the pitch there. I'm just looking at Bruno, Jack, Colback. I mean,
that's how far we've come.
Well, yeah, it is. But, Colback is in for a tough job if he is indeed in that position on Saturday. A very tough job.
Indeed. Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I would prefer Longstaff to start. I mean, have I got him? I have got him. Here he is. Let's bring Longstaff on. One of the reasons why I would prefer this is I think they're going to try and use Lingard a lot on this left side. So Miggy with his pressing, and Longstaff's very good at pressing. We can try and shut this down really well. Trippy is very intelligent. Bruno can cover out. So I just prefer it for safety reasons for Longstaff to play there. I think he's a little bit better in those parts of the game than Willock is. Willock's obviously better at driving runs and finishing. He's got different weapons, but they're different players, as we've talked about before. So we'll have to be careful. We'll have to make sure that these wing backs are back and not high up the pitch. And try and maybe test Henderson quite often. They've not played at this level before. Obviously, one of the concerns is that Forest are used to winning. I know a lot of this 11 has changed, but they're a team that are used to being very dominant. They're a team that are used to winning most of their games. So to come up to the Premier League, they're not going to have been humbled yet. They're still going to have that buzz about being promoted and about being quite a good team anyway. So we've got to be careful. We do have to treat them with a bit of respect. They're no pushovers. We were a bit lucky.
That's a bit of a risky formation for them, though, if that's how they go.
Doesn't that normally play three at the back?
Yeah. I mean, if the wing backs go up, then these are the.
I think that's how they did things in the Championship, because they were able to.
This is their pre-season, so against Valencia they lined up like this. This is what I've copied into the predicted lineup because it's what played. This could change. They could have Yates. There could be a few changes, but I've just popped this on as the predicted lineup. So they went with a 5-3-2. Obviously, if they're against weak, maybe if they're playing against Bournemouth, they might try a 3-4-3. They might try a little bit more offensive. It depends. And then the Notts County game doesn't really count because they played a lot of their backups and new players to try and get minutes. And they played, slightly different. And they've had a good preseason to a degree, as you can see. They did quite well in Germany. They started off in Coventry and lost, and went to Burton and Barnsley. Played a few German teams, played County sort of close to them, and then they finished off with a random Valencia fixture, which is interesting. And Valencia, as I can show you, actually played a strong team. They've got Paulista, Diacabe, Castillejo, Soler. So they played a strong team. Forest managed to, they were 1-0 down at half time. And it was this danger man, Brennan Johnson, who got the goal. So we have got to be careful because he is no slouch. He is still doing the business. So we've got to be very, very careful.
Very interesting. By the way, I think Coventry are going to be the surprise package of the Championship this season. I just thought I'd say that. I can see them coming up this year. I don't know why. It's just a hunch I've got. I think they need to keep the better players. But, who's that guy who was injured? He was injured for the Sunderland game, Billy, but he's been touted. Yes.
Colin
if they can keep a hold of him, I think they might have a very, very good season.
Him being injured has kind of saved him because he was going to go to Burnley, but being injured might have saved him. I think if he had did, I think they might have been after Elliot Anderson on loan to replace him. Interesting.
Mark says, if you're a betting man, get your money on Miggy to kickstart our season. Danielle, I mean, this is big, isn't it? Because Eddie faces some real big decisions on Saturday about who his starting lineup is going to be. I'm very intrigued into what he says in his pre-match press conference tomorrow. There will be a video on that, by the way. As soon as the press conference has been done, I'll release a video just going through what he said. He probably won't give anything away, though, Danielle, because we know he's very coy in these press conferences. But will he go with Miggy? Will he have the confidence to start Miggy on that right-hand side? I think he's got a lot of confidence in Miggy. I think Newcastle United released an interview with Eddie Howe today on the YouTube channel. And the kind of question was posed to him about, Joe Linton's resurgence at the second half of the season. And did he think that Almiron would do the same at the start of this season? And he said it absolutely is no surprise to him that Miggy is playing how he is, because that's the Miggy he sees in training. So I think he's got all the faith in him. So, I mean, we'll come to team lineups later on. But yeah, I think he's got every faith in him. I think what a start he's had in pre-season, and long may that continue, Miggy son. Come on. 100%. Francisco's asking if the game will be streamed on Newcastle TV. No. Not the Premier League games, mate, unfortunately. But you can listen to the commentary with Billy Bob Coleman there. Very much looking forward to doing that. Tampa Toon, thank you for your $25 super chat. Really appreciate it. He says, just received my third kit top today. Sadly, I ordered it on the first day offered, so I've been concerned after the chatter RE sizes. Ordered a large and doubt what I received would be a US medium. Oh, hell. So, I take it's kind of a beach
tough.
volleyball top. Unfortunately. Hey, speaking of the tops, just before we go on, did anyone see the ones that were posted on Twitter this week with the stitching?
No, I'm not on Twitter, so I've not seen it.
Well, it was all over social media. Some of the Newcastle United name, the N and the E was just a blob of cotton. It was just a piece of material, and then the rest of the Newcastle spent the same. The seahorses that are on the badge, one of them didn't have any eyes. The standard, and then somebody bought a Castore hoodie, and the Castore sort of logo was supposed to be in the middle, but it was slightly off-centered. It looked ridiculous.
Wow.
John, there's an even funnier one than that. The media day that the club have retweeted. I think it was it Wilson? One of the players, their shirt was missing the Castore badge.
Yes. I mean,
that's a player.
God.
It's not a good look, that mind, is it?
I can't see them lasting me. Like,
No.
I think you should write to your mate, Danielle, get on to Mandy and just tell her how enough's enough, pet.
When I get my interview, I'll just say, listen,
Absolutely.
Get rid.
Yeah. Mike says Longstaff to start because Willett will have a bigger impact off the bench. Gary says, I can't wait for Bruno to have Lingard in his pocket on half the wages. Ian says he chucked Henderson in rather than Longstaff or Willock. That is an interesting one, Billy. Obviously, to be fair, Elliot Anderson's more of a left-sided player, but he could do a job in front of Bruno and Joe Linton. I think he's an option.
I think he'll come on off the bench, to be honest. Like you say, if Joe Linton was injured, I think he might start, and then play a more defensive player on either side, Longstaff. But no, I don't think he'll play on the right-hand side of midfield.
George, thank you for your £10 super chat. He says, hope everyone is looking forward to the Forest game, but remember, if we do get beat, it's not the end of the world. Welcome aboard to the roller coaster that is following NUFC. Absolutely, George. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. First time he'll be back since the end of the season, but he missed, of course, the Arsenal game because he was at the male strippers.
He was at the strippers, yeah.
He was. Alex, I mean, we've got that dilemma, haven't we? Until this Maddison thing is sorted out, or whoever we bring in, we've got midfield to choose from. Bruno and Joe Linton are sure-ins for me. And then it's between Longstaff, Anderson, and Willock.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you just mentioned. I don't think Anderson's going to start on the right at all. He's not been used there. He's a left wing or a left eight, or it's not going to happen. If it were to happen, it would have already happened in pre-season against the weaker opposition. It's I mean, I could be wrong, but it's based on the information we've got in front of us right now. It's very unlikely because Willock and Longstaff have been used in that right eight role interchangeably for different reasons. So I think it's nailed on. Unless we sign somebody who is used to being like Maddison would be perfect as a right-sided eight. Unless we sign somebody who's specifically an upgrade, I can't see that changing much. And I don't see the whole Almiron is a right eight and Murphy starting. I think that was just to give everybody minutes. I think that was just an experiment for the preseason. Well, not an experiment. It was just to get everybody minutes, basically. Because if somebody gets injured, Murphy's ready. It's not that he's in the plan to start. We just needed everybody fit. So
yeah. Emma says apparently Norwich have a 15% moving on buying clause in Maddison's deal when Leicester bought him. So now that Newcastle want him, they bumped the price up because 15% is going elsewhere. Jason says it's not true. It is true. I've checked into this actually because I knew this would come up. Norwich have actually confirmed it as well. There is a 15% sell on. So obviously Leicester City, they're going to lose 15% when they sell Maddison because it goes to Norwich City. So yes, in a way, they're bumping up the price a little bit, I would imagine, to try and cover that. Why not? It's a business at the end of the day. If you're going to lose assets or lose money, you're going to try and recoup it somehow. And that's what they're doing. But listen, I don't care what anybody says. I would still go and spend 55 on Maddison. I really would. I think he'd be a wonderful signing for Newcastle. And it's not over yet, despite everybody. Well, funny, isn't it? Because a lot of people came out on videos yesterday saying we were going to put a bid in for Maddison today. A third bid was going back in. Do you smell it?
Yeah.
Do you smell it?
But yes.
Do
Yeah.
you smell what the Rock isn't cooking?
Mm-hmm.
I also saw a list of players that Eddie said he was after a small pool of players, and I saw a list of them, but from a certain ITK.
Look, I mean, listen,
and it's the ones that we saw. It's the one we've already spoken about for 4
exactly.
weeks.
And Danielle, going back to what you were saying about certain fans saying certain things, that's what causes the unrest on social media, because people start arguing about it. And you know, we all knew when Eddie Howe said the small pool of players, they've already told us who they are. So it's crazy. But you know, this will go on and on and on.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel exhausted with this whole situation. I feel like I'm buzzing. I'm so happy. Like, if we need a striker, we need a winger, we know that. But I'm so happy that the club's in a situation that it's in. Like, I'm so positive. Compared to last season, we didn't win a game for months. That's definitely not going to be the case this time around. I'm just so excited to see, what's going to happen. But I think this infighting, man, it's just, honestly, enough's enough. It needs to stop, because we need to be united together this season.
Really, 100%.
And that comment that we've just seen was from Max Pye, I think it was, about Colback, about getting battered if somebody starts Colback in midfield. Everybody's capable of having a good game. And they just drew 1-1 against Valencia with Colback in midfield. So
look, the thing is about Colback, he's not there as a footballing genius. He's there to tackle. He's there to win the ball back and then give it to the more talented players. And that's what he can do. You know, he doesn't have to be this talented footballer. Just win it back and give it to the players that do the.
We can't adopt that big six mentality. We've got to give each opponent respect and recognise when they can be good and what their weaknesses are. You can't just say, "Oh, crap, we'll batter them." Yeah. If that was the case, then we'd win most of our games, and we don't.
And then wait till the whistle at the very first second of the game, and then say we'll batter them. Yeah.
I doubt the coaching staff sit there in a pre-match going, "Oh, they're crap. You'll batter them. Don't worry." Of course not. They identify the strengths and weaknesses.
She's like a spring chicken. The night she's like a coiled spring. Right? She's like, "I'm not sleeping till Saturday.
I feel like it's Christmas Eve. That's what I know you do.
I can tell.
Almost that's how the opposite happens when Steve Bruce is in charge, because he'd been just him saying, "Well, they're better than us."
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
Sit back.
Well, this is a newly promoted side. They're too good.
John Joe, thanks for your £4.49. He says, "Good evening, guys. Big transfer news pending for Saturday. I think Forest will get stunned with the atmosphere. 3-0 to the Toon, and enjoy the game, guys." Yeah, the transfer news is that Danielle will be in the ground. Jordy Metal, thank you for your £20 super chat. He says, "I would happily pay 60 million for Maddison, plus he is English, which is a bonus." Absolutely, 100% agree. Look, this is it's going to be a big occasion Saturday. You know, the season kicks off, war flags. You know, Billy's on watch along. The three of us are there. You know, the Toon Review will be well represented on Saturday, and it's going to be a great occasion. I can't wait.
Online and at the ground.
Absolutely. So live show at the ground. It's going to be incredible. Chris says, "Did you receive the shirt today, Paul?" I did, mate. Yes. Thank you very much. Chris has also donated, I believe it's a third kit to give away as a prize. So I've now got I've got 2 third kits, one in a 5XL, which can fit anybody, let's be honest. And I believe this one's an XL, but and I've also got a 5XL home. Of course, Michael donated the 5XLs to the channel. So solid. We're going to have a giveaway at the end of the show. There you go.
Yes.
A members giveaway to win a shirt. Which one will it be?
Oh, this is all very exciting, you know.
It'll be the 5XL third kit. So there you go.
Look at that.
If you remember, in it to win it. Become a member tonight, and you might actually win it. So there you go. Stay tuned.
And it will help if you're a tubby funster.
Sorry?
It will help if you're a tubby funster, like me.
Actually, Billy, the 5XL, it's a nice fitting, I think, from, I would say, either from a 3XL upwards. If a 5XL would be a nice fit. It's just, the problem with Castore is I don't know what they've done, because the third kit fits me lovely, right? I just don't like the length of them. I'd rather they were a bit longer. because if
Mine
you
looks
do,
like a dress on me. I'm not going to lie, but
well, yeah, but if you're a bit portly, it looks like a crop top. But it's. I don't understand when I put the home shirt on earlier today, and literally the sleeves were cutting the blood circulation off. Yet on the other two, well, more so the third kit, it's baggy. I don't get how they've made them. Well, I do. There's some 2-year-old in China, but something's gone wrong with the making of them. Mark says my Castore budgie smugglers are fine, lovely tight fit.
Mine are like cheese boy, I've got to say.
Billy,
Up the back, I mean, not the front.
yes. Dominic says, would you want an under 23 striker on the bench, Stevenson or Munoz? Yes. I think. Listen, one of them probably will be. We've got a lot of spare seats on the subs bench, I would imagine. When's the cut-off date for the squad announcements? Is that like after the day after the transfer window or something?
It's got to be. Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it'd be pretty close after the window closes. It's 15% definitely. It is Coventry did the thing to Norwich. Yeah, they did the same thing. They asked for a sell-on fee as well. Jean says in the know, more like IDK. I don't know. Tweets to owners today was mental. I'm not going into that because I'll just get angry. I'll just lose the plot.
I'm too excited to be mad.
Well, you've got to get mad about something for your rant on TTR Friday tomorrow,
I don't
Danielle.
know if I'm going to have one,
Ooh, well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I might have an inspirational, start of the season. Let's all be united.
Wow.
Don't give it away now.
I might.
Billy, I think we need to get Danielle some kind of phone call from Manchester United just to piss her off tomorrow.
I'll get Arix to give her a phone call, eh?
Yeah. How you doing, Danielle? It's Alec Ferguson here. You're the world-class manager. Are we going to win everything? We are the best.
Arix.
I drink iron brew. It was brewed in Scotland by Gutters. Alex, do you find anything funny today? Because you either you're steering a ship or flying a plane, or you're just not finding me funny tonight, which is probably.
No, I'm just defending myself. I've got people attacking me saying I haven't watched Kamal Dean at all, and I'm chatting shit, which has triggered me a lot.
Where?
Because just on Twitter, just people, just idiots basically that don't know me or don't know how I spend my time. Because if you go back and watch 3 or 4 months ago, I said that Stade Rennais were a surprise package and playing really well, and I started watching them because they were a dark horse in Ligue 1, and by default saw a bit of Kamal Dean. So yeah, go sit on it.
How dare anyone attack Stato?
Well, especially on a Thursday.
On a Thursday and all, I'm very brave.
That's raw meat for his team.
If I went and if I watched 6 youth Toulon tournament matches in the summer, then what makes you think I won't watch a PSG Rennais game in Ligue 1? That's a much bigger game.
Indeed. And Toonami, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Members Club and the Toon Review family. If that's a renewal, thank you. If it should really tell you if it's a renewal, shouldn't it? It's a bit of a pisser that it doesn't actually tell you.
We still celebrate people whether they're new members or renewals, so that's okay.
Yeah. By the way, did you see Neil Warnock's Premier League predictions?
No.
He has us finishing 6th.
Oh.
Well, I was going to slag him off, but that seems to be...
I know you're getting ready for that, Billy. I thought Billy's he's sliding his foot back and forwards like a bull ready to charge there, and then all of a sudden I said 6th, and he was like, oh, shit, I've got to say something nice.
I thought, what's Colin Wanker said now?
Yeah. So I think that was quite good, really. I'm pleased. Dan says, how to become a member, sir? There's a join button just underneath the actual show. If you're on iOS, you will have to do it a little bit differently. You'll need to go across to Instagram, look for the Toon Review on there, and in the bio, there is a link to the channel. Click on that. It takes you to a desktop version of YouTube, and you can click the join button there. So it's a bit pain in the arse, but listen, iOS is what it is. Chris says you could sleep a family of 4 in a 5XL. You really couldn't, Chris. I was going to say something there, but it's a little bit rude, so I'm not. And I'm never rude on this channel.
Okay, maybe on a Sunday.
I'm not. Gateshead Gabs, thank you very much to becoming a new member. Welcome to the family, my friend, and the members club. Ab says Botman has to play for me. Offered 650 million for Tiger Woods. Let's go. Let's get Madison.
Well, what she's saying is quite right. They're spending a lot of money on the golf tour, aren't they? And they're trying to get Tiger Woods in for that fee.
Yeah.
Although the golf tour doesn't have financial fair play attached to it, obviously.
Tony says I'm a medium. PR large. It'll be like a mighty. Look, the sizes are all over the place. But listen, if it doesn't fit, you frame it, or give it to a member of your family.
If
or
it doesn't fit you, just
If
it's too big wearing anyway. Who cares?
Just have a Newcastle United shrine somewhere in the house.
Please.
How
need one
some
of them
people
on that
have
wall.
like man caves. People put football tops up in the man caves.
And
Do
women
that.
caves.
Yeah. Fair play to Alex for thoughts on Colback. The Nottingham Forest supporter commented he'd like the yellow. He was the same with us. Colback used to drive us mental with his reckless fouls in dangerous areas. A bit like Lascelles. Castore will be in contact with HP soon. Louis says, my medium fits perfectly. Haven't needed to go a size up or down.
Lovely.
Ian says, Billy and a Mankini. Oh, dear God.
Is that the prelude to...
Dear me. Oh, God.
Well, I'm thinking that myself.
Gary says 5XL would drown me with my muscular physique. Yeah, Gary, and I'm Japanese. Tampa Toon, thank you for another $25. He says, they sent me a damn small. Total incompetence, fuming in capital letters.
Wow.
Jesus.
Not good enough. Sort it out.
Yeah. Tony says, I didn't even know if tops went to 5XL unless you shop at Giacomo. Listen, Castore,
Well, apparently neither did Castore, if the size isn't by any means, but...
What was Port Vale's top size again?
Oh, they went up to about a 9XL, I think, when I was on their site.
Flipping heck.
All I can imagine is they've got some rather large people living in...
But the thing is, in a business like that, you've got to know your customer. And if you don't know your customer and you don't know your audience, you're not going to get it right.
Which clearly Castore don't know the audience, do they? So, it's one of them things. Barth says, I'm gutted we missed out on Cornet. That's a real one that pisses me off, Billy. Not much money, good player. And again, we've just dilly-dallied a little bit.
We've got to think. We've already got strength on the left-hand side as it is. So would £17.5 million be good for a reserve? Because at the start of the season, it would be. He wouldn't be taking Saints' place. So you've got to look at it that way. He wouldn't be a straight star, would he? So
good point, Billy.
Indeed. Douglas Thompson, thank you for your $8.99 super chat. He says, loving the show tonight. Great banter as always by the Toon Review team. Looking forward to the game on Saturday. 2-0 the Toon. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't think I've seen one message in the chat saying that we're going to lose.
Surprised.
Is there anything you'd like to bring up about the game, Alex?
I mean, I've not mentioned everything that I've prepped. There's nothing outstanding really. I mean, they played 8 preseason matches, which I think is slightly more than what we've done. A lot of their better new signings have come through quite late for them to possibly make a difference against us, which is fortunate. If 4 or 5 of these start playing games and bedding in, Forest could be really good in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better to play them early doors before they get settled and these new signings, get a grip. So I don't think there's anything I've left out. We've just got to show them a bit of respect and try. Oh, there is one interesting thing: is Renato Sanchez has signed for PSG. So AC Milan.
Another player that missed out on. Jesus Christ. Mike Johnson, thank you for becoming a new member. And also Dan Corcoran, I believe that's how you say it. Thank you for becoming a new member. And Chippers, welcome. Chippers, thank you for your £10 super chat. Didn't know what it was like to wear a bra until Castore came along. Jesus.
I doubt that very much, Chippers.
Yeah,
Poor chippers.
I know, poor chippers. Right, here we go. Now, don't forget this season, the four of us are in a little mini league for predictions. So
I'm losing,
you
but I
get,
don't care.
listen, you get 3 points for the correct result. Okay, 2 points for like getting the. Well, hang on a minute. Getting the result exactly right is 3 points. Okay, getting the result right, as in a Newcastle win or opposition win, you get 2 points, and a point for a draw. Okay,
Do you get any points for optimism?
because you would run away with it, Danielle.
That sucks.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we are going to go with Billy first. Billy, what is your predicted lineup for Saturday?
Okay. Nick Pope in goal.
Mhm.
Kieran Trippier at right back. Matt Target at left back. Centre halves. Fabian Schär and Sven Botman. In front of them, Bruno. Joe Linton on the left of midfield, just in front of Bruno. On the right, Sean Longstaff. Wide right, Miggy. Wide left, Saint. And Callum Wilson through the middle.
Okay. And the score?
I'll take Newcastle to win by a score of 3-1.
So Billy Bob is going 3-1 to the Toon. Interesting. Just let me quickly write that down on my very efficient notepad, which is.
I like the organisation.
Yeah.
So I think you're going exactly the same as I put on my preview thing, but you've got Botman in, yeah?
Botman for Burn, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can I just say that it's a receipt from the vets today, because poor Elsie's quite poorly at the moment. She was biting at the back of her tail today, and I noticed that literally her stomach and her back, her hair's fallen out. She's got dermatitis.
Oh, God love her.
Which is all in her ears. It's all over her back, in her stomach. And the vet hasn't got a clue how she got it. It could be that she's allergic to grass, which seems to be the case when I take her out. So she's had to have a steroid injection. She's had eardrops put in, which she screamed when they were put in. So her ears must be terrible. And she's on antibiotics for 2 weeks. So she's not a well doggy at the minute. And it cost me £245.
She's worth every penny.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not complaining that
I know you're not. I'm just saying.
That's costs alike, but yeah, she's over there. I don't know whether you can see her.
Oh, my baby.
Yep. She's not a well doggy at the minute, so she's getting lots of cuddles, and we've had to change her food, put her on hypoallergenic food and everything. So
bless her.
hopefully she'll go.
She'll be fine, Paul.
Artificial grass in the garden, Paul.
You what, Billy?
Let's get some artificial grass put down in your garden.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do when I move house, I think.
Bless her.
Well, you don't want that because you'll have Stephen Taylor and Amy Obi warming up on it just for fun.
I know. Yeah. But hopefully, I mean, she's my best mate, isn't she? You know what I mean? I'd be devastated if anything happens to her.
It's not going to.
So she's getting lots of cuddles and looked after. Andrew, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the members club. Poorly lad suffering with COVID, obviously, at the minute, but thank you very much.
I think I know what Andrew's prediction might be.
Well, I know I haven't seen it yet, but it's very unusual. Darren's team. Comments, Jim. Thank you, Jason. Darren's team is Pope, Trippier, Lascelles, Botman, Target,
Lascelles.
Bruno, Joe Linton, Willock, Saint, Maxi, Almiron, Wilson. There is quite a few fans think that he's going to pick Lascelles. You know, there is that belief. I really, really hope not. I'm still of the belief. I'll say it when I come on to my team prediction. Alex, yours is coming up on the screen.
Yeah, this is what I think he's going to go with. I would prefer him to play Longstaff and Botman. That would be my preferred choice, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to use the back five he did in the first friendly, and then I think he'll just use Willock, even though I would prefer Longstaff personally. So I think this is what he's going to go with.
Interesting.
Well, you know what it is? I think our formation is more like a 4-2-1-3 instead of a 4-1-2-3. See what I mean?
How so?
I think Joe Linton plays more alongside Bruno and Willock's more further forward.
I mean, it depends. They tend to mirror and rotate depending on the situation.
Yeah.
You know, if Bruno gets caught slightly higher up and Willock's up here, we often see Joe Linton right back helping target or mucking in back here. It just depends on who's joined the attack. But they tend to know each other quite well and they rotate and drop back appropriately. So I don't know. I do think that there were a lot of times where you see Bruno stood on his own as a little pin figure on his own, sort of spraying the ball. That does happen. And then if he decides to drive forward, somebody's got to try and step back. Yeah.
Funny enough, I may as well say it now. That's the exact same team that I've got as well. I agree. I mean, we spoke about it at the match last weekend, Alex, that we think that back five, including Nick Pope, is the one that will start, because I think Eddie Howe is of the sort of mindset that Byrne and Cher did nothing wrong the back end of last season. So why did they deserve dropped? And maybe he's going to just bring Botman into the Premier League slowly, like he did with Bruno. I know he's had a pre-season, but
it's worrying. I am a little bit worried about Johnson getting through Target and Byrne. That's my big concern.
Hey, listen, if I'm 100% honest, I want to see Botman in because I just love watching him play. He's so composed. And I think him and Cher will be absolutely superb together this season.
Well, Botman's recovery runs in the Bilbao game shows he can handle like an annoying on the last shoulder.
Yeah.
So,
and he won't have Lascelles to keep looking over his shoulder, seeing what rubbish Lascelles is doing. John Joe's gone 3-0 Newcastle. Andrew's gone 4-0 first half, 3-0 second. Alex, what's your score prediction?
3-1. 3-1 to us.
3-1 as well.
I think Brennan Johnson's going to get one against us from exactly how I've just demonstrated on the screen. We gave up that goal because Byrne got beat. I think he's liable, not a liability, but he's liable. He can be got at in that way specifically on occasion. I think he's a good player to start against certain teams, but this kind of thing scares me a little bit. As for our goal scorers, I think Miggy will get another one, and then I think it will be Wilson and Bruno.
Yep. Barbara says, get a doggy GoFundMe page going. He's all right. If it was into the thousands, then we might have to, but she'll be okay. Thank you to everybody, by the way, for your kind comments in the chat and get well soon messages for her. She knows we're talking about her because our ears keep pricking up. John Joe says, can you imagine if Chris Wood scores on Saturday? I have a feeling he might.
I hope he doesn't get in the pitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Insane.
I hope not.
I hope he's not needed.
If he gets on the scores,
there's not much chance of that unless it's a penalty.
I mean, he might have to do a penalty
in the Premier League. Billy.
He might have to do it at half time when they're all gone off the pitch. But
yeah, that's when he'll get on when he comes on at half time. Right, Danielle, who's your team?
Same as Billy's. I really want to see Botman.
Okay.
I think you have to be your strongest. And for me, I'm in a quandary because I love Dan Byrne. I think he changed your defence the end of last season, but for me, Botman's got to come in. He is the strongest. But yeah, other than that, exactly the same team as Billy picked.
Well, I think I want Botman to play because I think we want to get off to the very best start we can. We want to put a statement down saying this isn't going to be the same season as we had last year. We're going to be so much better. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I really think Botman should start, but we know what Eddie Howe's like. There's always something in there. I mean, it's just incredible. Wow, Tampa Toon, thank you for your $50 again, mate. Towards the vets bill. Get well soon, Elsie. Oh, you didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you so much. Really kind. Do we get a bonus point if we get the starting 11 perfect? No. Sorry, Alex. Nice try. But listen, if you're, I mean, listen, you've had a mare in the best of series that we did. So I mean, by the way, Alex, have you joined the Fantasy Football League?
I'll do it Possibly slightly later tonight or tomorrow morning.
You need it in by 6:30, mate. It's cut off.
There's 6:30 tomorrow, isn't it? It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been tinkering over the last few days. So
We can all imagine what Stat was like doing a fantasy football team. My
It'll
God.
take hours.
Oh, God.
well, there's an expectation, isn't there, from
It'd be
everybody?
like
Everybody's going to
It would
mock
be like
me
watching
if,
Steve Davis playing snooker, man, honestly. It's like,
I bet he's been out scouting and everything.
oh, without a doubt, he'd be taking about half an hour to put one player in. He'd be doing half an hour scouting on each player.
Mate, it's been
Mind
longer
you,
than that.
I have to admit, guys, my team that I gave out yesterday on the fantasy football show, very
It's totally different, isn't it? I was going to say, you've totally changed it, haven't you?
Hugely different, in fact. Yeah, so there you go. Right. It is time. Sorry, Danielle, score prediction.
So, now,
Uh-oh.
if we take our minds back to the season end review, okay, I did make a promise that I would be a bit more realistic this season. Instead of getting way above me head, and getting overexcited, be a bit more like sensible. So I've thought about it. With that being said, balls to it, I'm going 5-0.
What?
Mwah.
Right, I've just
Can we
basically
clip
put the StreamYard link into the comments. What the hell?
We can have all sorts of guests joining us now.
No.
Hi, Kevin.
Oh my God.
Right, the fantasy football link is now in the comments. So if you want to join, get into there. Karia, thank you for 100 krona, mate. So kind. This is to Elsie from my dog, Fluffy Voff Voff. Be well, Elsie.
Fucking woof woof.
Voff Voff. It must be how you woof in Norwegian. Voff Voff. Thank you so much, Karia. Wonderfully kind. 5-0, Danielle, yeah?
Yeah, well, I try to be sensible and I can't do it. So I'm really sorry. I'm not going to get many points this season in this league.
You might.
However,
Look,
I can see we're really coming out and making a statement, and I'm not underestimating Forest at all. I just think we're a really strong team. I really do believe
Go
that.
7 or 8, then go on. And underestimate.
Really, just because we want to win. No, honestly, I struggle.
listen, to be fair, I think if we do go out and get a couple of early goals, I think that might put the pressure on Forest, especially with all the new signings and blending as a team, which we haven't seen before.
And you know something, right? I don't always get it right. And sometimes I say stupid things and I have a Castore, but you can't knock us from your optimism. Simple as that.
Yeah. Chippers is wondering who's been on the alcohol again, Danielle.
No, Chippers.
Diet Pepsi. There you go. She's probably put vodka in it, though. Yeah. Right. So interesting. And now for myself, I think...
Is your line up the same as Alex's?
Yeah.
What, 3-1?
No, your line up.
Oh, my lineup, yeah. Same as Alex's.
You're playing Willock instead of Longstaff?
Yeah.
We're saying Eddie's going to do that. I wouldn't do that.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's what we think Eddie will do, to be honest. And I had my lineup decided from last weekend, so nothing's happened to make me change that. I had Madison signed earlier in the week. Yeah, maybe he's put not this time. I am going 4-0 Newcastle.
Very good.
I think we're going to start the season with a bang, because after last season and taking so bloody long to get a result, I think we'll go out and the atmosphere will be brilliant. I think that the guys will be up for it from the first minute, and we'll go and hammer them. By the way, for the Forest fans watching, I really do hope you guys have a good season. I'm just hoping that we get off to the
We're just
very best start
Yeah.
We
possible.
will win this in 14 last season. We want to see some, we want to start differently.
With a bang, baby, a bang, shebang.
Give us some long faces come Sunday night's review show, though.
No, Billy. Don't say things like that.
Oh, look, Elsie's tail's wagging. Oh, a little tail was wagging away, bless her. Oh, she's so lush.
Scratching again, bless her. Hey, Elsie, no, your hair will fall out.
Oh, bless her.
Jump up. Just come and say hi to everybody. No, she's run off. Fair enough. Yeah. So listen, I think we'll go and give it a good go. I'm really excited about it. And now it's time for the draw. And because my stupid web screen won't work again, I will just have to do it and announce the winner. I'm gonna have to come up with a better quality of drawing these things out. But here we go. And
could get Alexa to give you a number.
I don't have Alexa.
Well, in that case, forget it.
We've been waiting a long time.
I will actually better this in times. I really will. In fact, sod it. I'm going to give 2 away, right? The 5XLs, the home one and the away one. Okay? So, first one. Here we go. Can I have a countdown to hit the start button, please?
Yes.
183, 182, 181.
Jesus, Billy.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Start. Here we go. And the winner of the third kit, Mike Trembeth. Well done, Mike. You have won the third kit. Now, the winners tonight, I would like you to obviously email me. The email is at the bottom of the description of the video itself. Now, you can contact me on Facebook group or, of course, on Twitter as well, but I will need your addresses to send out. And, okay, a countdown. Second draw. This is for the 5XL home top.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
And the winner, Gary Binns. Gary Binns and Mike Trembeth are the winners of the shirts. Mike's won the third kit, and Gary Binns has won the second, the home kit. So I need you guys to. I like the way before his name came out, Gary Binns has put that it's a fix until his name came out and he's won as well.
It's not a fix no more, Gary.
Yeah, and he says, "You're lying, boys. Get in." There you go. So Mike Trembeth and Gary, if you can send me your addresses, either email or via Twitter or the Facebook group via Messenger, I will get them sent off to you on Monday. But don't worry, we will have another shirt to give away, and why not? We'll do it on Sunday night. Get these shirts out the doors. We do have some mugs to give away as well, but we may give a mug away tomorrow night on TTR Friday. So don't forget that tomorrow night, guys. TTR Friday, 8 o'clock start. I think Billy's got some beef, without a shadow of a doubt. I think something's annoyed him this week. Shamed by Stato. Wonder who that's going to be. And Danielle's rant may well be a rant stroke motivational speech.
Yes, it may very well be on the eve of our first game.
Absolutely. So that's one to look forward to. So we'll be back at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. A little bit of fun before the weekend kicks in, of course. Start your weekend the right way with a good laugh with a Toon review from 8 o'clock. Thank you to everybody who's super chatted tonight. Honestly, it blows away every time. Your generosity out there is fantastic. Gary's asking how I message you for details, Paul. The email address is at the bottom of the description of this video. So you can do it that way. You can go on Twitter and find me on there and private message on the Facebook group as well. And I'll get that message and I'll get them off to you. Yeah, so thank you to everybody who's took part in the chat as well. If you have enjoyed the show tonight, guys, please hit that like button and tell YouTube what a blazing squad we are and what a wondrous, stupendous channel this is to push us up the search results. And also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing to do so. And also the notification bell. That will tell you when we upload or we go live. I will have a video released around lunchtime tomorrow with the press conference reaction, going through what Eddie Howe had to say. And, of course, the four of us will be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow night for TTR Friday. Thank you three, for your company tonight. Thank you to the Mod Squad for a brilliant job again. Thank you to everybody that's commented and watched. And we'll see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Have a good Friday, everyone. Take care.
Good night, guys.